Monarch, Legacy of Monsters Season 2. We have a fantastic update here, a brand new casting. Amber Midthunder, the lead from Prey, that last Predator movie that was absolutely incredible. She did a great job as a Comanche, fighting off the Predator, and now she's been cast in Monarch, Legacy of Monsters Season 2. One of the best shows that's been on TV in recent years, in my opinion. Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, the first season, it was incredible. The CGI was great, the action was great, the storytelling, the characters, just across the board, it was pretty much universally loved by fans and critics. And now, adding more talent with Amber Midthunder, like I said, the lead from Prey, into Season 2 is a great idea. So let's jump into this article, let's break it down, and let's see what's going on with this brand new casting. So, this comes to us from the Sci-Fi Fantasy Gazette. Monarch, Legacy of Monsters Season 2 adds Prey star Amber Midthunder. She's a fantastic actress, and this is such a great news story. When I first saw this the other day, I came across it, and I was literally like, wow, they're going to be adding the star from Prey into Monarch, Legacy of Monsters Season 2. That's a fantastic casting idea. So, Prey star Amber Midthunder has joined the cast for the second season of Apple TV Plus's Monsterverse spin-off series, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, in a heavily recurring role. So, it's a heavily recurring role, it says here. So, she's not just going to be popping up in 1 and 2 episodes, she's going to be in a heavily recurring role. So, she's going to be pretty much every episode. She's going to have a major influence on the second season, which is great to see. The Legion alum will play a character named Isabel, who is described as an intelligent and powerful businesswoman. So, she's going to be a businesswoman in Season 2. So, is she going to be trying to profit off the monsters in some way? Is she going to have nefarious reasons for being in the show? Trying to make money? Have some sort of business angle on what's going on with the monsters? It's going to be really, really interesting to see how her character develops and kind of what her intentions are going into second season. So, Season 1 stars Anna Sarway, Kirstie Clemens, Ren Watabe, Mari Yamamoto, Anders Holm, Joe Tippett, and Elisa Lozowski are expected to return. Whether we will see Kurt and Wyatt Russell, they played the same character across 2 different timelines, remains to be seen. That was one of the best dynamics in the show. Having Kurt Russell and Wyatt Russell, obviously real life, father and son, playing the same person but in 2 different times. One during the war and then one kind of in current times. That was a great dynamic. That was a great casting choice. It was a great direction to go for that first season. And having, father and son playing that same character was a great idea. I think it just worked really, really well. And I think a lot of people really enjoyed that. So, Legacy of Monsters is set after the events of 2014's Godzilla reboot, as San Francisco struggles to rebuild in the wake of the Titans' epic battles against the Mutos. The story will focus on Kate, who survives the San Francisco showdown and travels to Japan to find her missing father. It is there she learns of a shocking betrayal, and Kate must team up with her half-brother, an American hacker, to discover her family's ties with the mysterious organization known as Monarch. I'm sure by now, most of you know the story for that first season. A lot of people watched it, a lot of people enjoyed it, and I'm so happy they're back for a Season 2. I'm not sure how far along they are in terms of production when it comes to Season 2. Have they already started production? I'm not sure if they have or not, but I think we're going to have a long wait until Season 2 comes out, which is unfortunate. Potentially, the second half of next year, maybe late 2025, early 2026, maybe when this is going to come out. But, it requires a lot of CGI, having these big monsters in the show. And it's worth the wait because it's a great show. So, Chris Black from Severance and Matt Fraction from Hawkeye developed the project. And the first 2 episodes were helmed by WandaVision and Fantastic Four director Matt Shakman. And the series was renewed back in April, with Apple and Legendary also striking a deal to develop a number of other spin-off projects. It is the latest expansion in the Legendary Monsterverse, following the box office success of Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters. In my opinion, that's my favourite King of the Monsters. Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla x Kong The New Empire. Godzilla x Kong The New Empire, let's just talk about that for a second. That movie with Shimo, that kind of frost dragon at the end, that fight, it was so fun. I didn't think the main antagonist, that kind of ape antagonist, I'm really kind of losing what his name was right now. Yeah, I can't remember. But obviously that was that kind of ape antagonist. I didn't really think he was all that compelling. But Shimo, that frost dragon, I think he was really, really great as a villain. And that showdown at the end of the movie was fantastic in my opinion. So here we just have the synopsis there for obviously the first season. I'm not going to read it all because by now I'm sure you already know it. But if you want to have a read, pause it and read it at your own leisure, guys. Also, Monarch Legacy of Monsters stars Kurt Russell, Wyatt Russell, who play the same character across 2 different timelines, which we already know, and the rest of the cast list there. Like I say, read it at your own leisure if you want to, guys. There's no comments on this article to read, which is unfortunate. But yeah, so that's kind of the breakdown of the news that's going on there. So we have Amber Midthunder, the star from that last Predator movie called Prey. She's going to be featured as a businesswoman in Season 2, Monarch Legacy of Monsters. What is the reason for her being there? Is it nefarious? Is it good? I can't wait to see how her character develops and how it fits into this established Monsterverse going forward. I think it's going to be really fun. She's a terrific actor. This is a great casting choice. But guys, I throw it off to you. Do you think it's a good casting choice? Do you think it's a bad casting choice? Are you looking forward to Amber Midthunder appearing in Season 2 of Monarch Legacy of Monsters? Let me know your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below, guys. Can't wait to hear what you have to say as always. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in the next one. Day by day, week by week, the casting news keeps coming when it comes to James Gunn's DC Cinematic Universe, and it looks like we've got a casting for a brand new Green Lantern, John Stewart. This is so exciting. I've been so hyped to see this Green Lantern series, a buddy cop, team-up style kind of series with 2 Green Lanterns investigating a murder. It sounds so fun. Sign me up, guys. But let's jump into it. Let's break down this article. Let's see what's going on with this brand new casting for Green Lantern. So this comes to us from Cosmic Book News. Green Lantern, Aaron Pierre cast as John Stewart. So when it comes to Aaron Pierre, I've heard a lot of good things about him. I have to say, I've had no exposure to this actor whatsoever. I can't think of any series or movies that I've seen this guy in. But like I say, I've heard a lot of good things from friends and people online saying that the guy's a great actor and he's been in some great projects. So James Gunn and DCU have found their Green Lantern, John Stewart, and it's Aaron Pierre who was previously said to be up for the role. The 30-year-old actor will start opposite 59-year-old Kyle Chandler, who is playing Hal Jordan. Again, having Kyle Chandler in there, that is so great. He's going to be the kind of the older, more established Green Lantern, you know, training the rookies. And a 59-year-old Kyle Chandler, I think that was a great way to go. A great casting. There's many people that love this actor here. So having Kyle Chandler and having this brand new hotshot Aaron Pierre kind of teaming up, I think is going to be a really fun series. Warner Brothers confirmed the casting of Pierre, and James Gunn confirmed the casting of both. So James Gunn said this: "Welcome to DC at Aaron Pierre 1. After a long and grueling series of auditions, I am absolutely sure we found an incredible John Stewart," said Gunn, adding, "Welcome to the DCU, Kyle Chandler, now our Hal Jordan in #Lanterns." The pair are starring in the Lantern series, described as similar to True Detective, which follows Hal Jordan, a legend amongst the space police force known as the Green Lanterns. As he reluctantly mentors a younger Green Lantern, John Stewart, the 2 intergalactic cops get drawn into a dark, Earth-based mystery as they investigate a murder in the American heartland. That sounds really fun. It sounds like the first Men in Black movie, you know, where you had the rookie cop who was joining the Men in Black, Will Smith, and then you had the older, more established, you know, Men in Black with Tommy Lee Jones, who reluctantly had to train the rookie cop, and there was that fun dynamic there between the legendary kind of Men in Black, Tommy Lee Jones, and then kind of the rookie Men in Black with Will Smith. That kind of dynamic there between the legend and the rookie, I think is always a fun dynamic to have, and to see that play out on screen in this buddy team up kind of cop Green Lantern show, I think is going to be so fun. The humor in here, the jokes, and I just think it's going to be a real fun time. So this is obviously Aaron Pierre here. Like I said, I've really not had any exposure to this guy whatsoever. I don't really know much about him or his acting. But like I said, I keep hearing great things about him. If you guys know anything about him or you've seen him in anything, post it down in the comment section. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think of this guy so far and what you've seen him in. So recently, also saw the news that James Hawes will be directing the first 2 episodes. I think I pronounced that right, James Hawes. If I got that wrong, I do apologize. Who is known for the episodes of Slow Horses. I hear that show is really good. Raised by Wolves, again, another great show. Snowpiercer, I've just started watching that. That's great. Black Mirror, obviously that's great. Alienist, I'm not sure what that is. The Mist is good. Penny Dreadful, I don't know, and more. He also directed One Life starring Anthony Hopkins. Ozark's Chris Mundy is serving as a showrunner. Ozark is incredible. If you have not gotten onto Ozark, guys, make sure you check that out. And Lanterns also hails from Damon Lindelof and the DC comic book writer Tom King. So it's great to have a legendary comic book writer, Tom King, working on the series as well, helping to write the show, helping to kind of guide the show. That's a great thing to do. Aaron Pierre, known for Netflix's Rebel Ridge, which is topping the Netflix charts. He's also known for Genius. His voice. He is also known for. Yeah, I'm not sure this grammatically doesn't make sense. Voicing Mufasa in Disney's upcoming Lion King, starring in M. Night Shyamalan's Old and the Underground Railroad. I have seen Old. Okay, so he was in M. Night Shyamalan's Old. I have seen that movie, but it was a long time ago since I watched it, and I probably didn't recognize the guy at the time. So that means I have seen the guy in Old, although it was a while since I saw that, like I said, so I don't really remember seeing him in it, but I have seen that. So Pierre also has some DC cred, as he starred in Sci-Fi's Superman prequel Krypton series as Dev M. Oh, okay, so he was in Superman's prequel series Krypton, although I believe it was cancelled after like 1 or 2 series, wasn't it? Something like that, because apparently in the ratings it didn't do very well. But either way, yeah, so it looks like the guy is an established actor. He's got a lot of acting credits to his names, and having him come in and be John Stewart, that sounds like a great idea, and I'm hearing good things from people that do know him and that have had, some exposure to his talent on screen. So, like I keep saying at the beginning, I'm really excited. A buddy cop, style team up Green Lantern show with a rookie cop that's being trained by a reluctant Hal Jordan, like an older, kind of more grizzled Carl Chandler playing that role. I think it's going to be so fun. And, the opportunity there for the humor, the kind of the bromance, the humor, whatever more kind of relationship develops between the two, I think it's going to be super fun. But guys, I throw it off to you. What do you think about this casting here of Aaron Pierre as John Stewart in the upcoming Lantern show in DC's, DC's new cinematic universe? Do you think it's a good fit? Do you think it's a bad fit? Whatever your comments are, make sure you post them down below, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. So, when it comes to Batman, there seems to be more and more discourse from the fan base online each and every day, talking about the possibility of folding Robert Pattinson's Batman into James Gunn's new DCU, with David Corenswet playing Superman. In this video, we break down 5 positive reasons why that would be a great idea. So let's jump into it, let's give our thoughts along the way, and let's see what kind of trouble we can get into with this topic. So, this comes to us from comicbookmovie.com. 5 reasons Robert Pattinson's The Batman should be the DCU's Caped Crusader. So there's a lot of people that really love the idea of folding Robert Pattinson's Batman into the new DCU, but then there's a lot of other people on the other side of the fan base that feel it wouldn't be a good fit. It's more of a grounded character. It wouldn't make sense to put him with kind of like gods and stuff like that, because this Robert Pattinson Batman is very grounded, and having him come up against characters like Superman or Wonder Woman, it just wouldn't make sense for this type of Batman. So there's arguments on both sides, but like I said, for this video, we're mainly talking about the 5 positive points. I'm not going to read this verbatim. Let's go through and just pick out the most important points and kind of give feedback on this, guys. So in this feature, we're diving into why Pattinson joining the DCU would be what's best for the Batman franchise and Gunn's reboot plans. Nothing is confirmed at this stage, but for us, the sooner Pattinson shares the screen with David Corenswet's Superman, the better. Well, mostly. So let's start off with this. Number 5, it's an easy retcon. So despite being a reboot, the DCU is picking and choosing actors and characters from the past, including John Cena's Peacemaker. That was a fantastic idea. John Cena as Peacemaker was great. His series was absolutely fantastic. Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, again, she did fantastic as that character. As a result, it won't be remotely difficult to make it so that Robert Pattinson's Batman is the new shared world's Dark Knight. There's nothing in the Batman to contradict what Gunn is planning, retroactively making it a critical and commercial hit like this for the first DCU movie would get the franchise off to the right start alongside next summer's Superman. Yeah, that makes a fantastic point here. To have Robert Pattinson's Batman jump over to the DC Cinematic Universe, there was nothing in the movie to contradict what James Gunn is doing with his new universe. There's nothing in there that restricts it from joining David Corenswet's Superman on screen. So, having that kind of retcon of bringing the Batman over to the DC Cinematic Universe, there's no issues there, no restrictions, nothing to contradict that move to have that Batman appear in James Gunn's DCU. So that's the first great point, I think, there. So moving on to this next, number 4, Does anyone want a Batman movie from Andy Muschietti? Obviously, for those of you who may not know, Andy Muschietti, he was the director on the Flash movie. I think that the Flash movie was absolutely, tragically, awfully bad. Everything about it, the script, the writing, the acting, the CGI was so damn bad, it took me out of the movie. And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. So, this has disaster written all over it, and Muschietti won't have nostalgia to heavily rely on with a new Batman. He's just not right fit, and Gunn can't risk dropping the ball on this character this important with a mediocre filmmaker. I'm not sure I'd call him a mediocre filmmaker. The guy, you know, he's a good filmmaker in his own right, but when it came to making The Flash, he did an awful job. The only thing that was positive was the nostalgia with Michael Keaton's Batman. If you took that out of the movie, then it would have been even worse. And like it says here, he doesn't have nostalgia to bank on so heavily if he was to do a Batman movie. The guy is just not a right fit. After him bombing with directing The Flash, having him anywhere near a Batman project would be a really bad idea. So, yeah, nobody wants a Batman movie from Andy Muschietti. Number 3, it's confusing for regular moviegoers. Absolutely. I keep saying this ad nauseum to like all my friends and, you know, all the people that I talk to about this. Having 2 different Batmans running around on screen simultaneously, the everyday movie-going audience who don't really, you know, stick to this news, having 2 Batmans in 2 different universes from DC running around, DC is kind of competing with itself, so it doesn't make sense from a business perspective. And then from an audience perspective, it could be confusing. Having 2 Batmans, you know, which Batman is in the DCU, which Batman isn't. You know, why are we rebooting another Batman when we already have a perfectly good one over here with Robert Pattinson? It kind of gets confusing as to what is going on, and yeah, I can see from a movie-going perspective why people would kind of be confused about it. So, while moviegoers are smarter than most studios seem to think, it's still confusing to have 2 different versions of Batman on screen at the same time. Sure, we all know that Elseworlds means, we all know what Elseworlds means, but does your dad? How about your sister or your grandparents? Yeah, this is exactly what we're talking about. For people like us who are in these film movie circles, who keep up to date with this news, who read the comic books, we know what Elseworlds are. We can separate the DCU Batman from Robert Pattinson's Batman. But if you're an everyday going cinema person and you don't know the ins and outs of the DC cinematic universe, you don't know which Batman you're supposed to be following, which Batman is separate, which Batman is in DCU, it can easily get confusing, you know, just for normal fans who aren't that kind of clued into the information. So, critics and fans alike will also compare the 2 franchises, and essentially having them compete feels like a recipe for disaster. Again, why would DC compete with its own characters? Having 2 Batmen running around, you know, if one starts to do better than the other, then you're going to be comparing the worst one to the better one, and there's going to be those comparisons. There's going to be 2 different types of DC fans forming about, you know, which Batman they like better, and it's just not going to look good. The optics on it just don't look good whatsoever. We just can't see how the DCU would be able to make its Batman that's different to the one played by Pattinson. That's the thing as well. How do you make it different enough to kind of justify having 2 Batmen running around? They would have to be vastly different types of characters. Let's just read this bit as well. So, releasing Batman Part 2 and then following it up 2 years later with The Brave and the Bold about a different Caped Crusader who's raising his son as Robin runs the risk of causing any number of headaches. Absolutely it does. I mean, like I said, again, DC trying to compete with itself by releasing 2 different versions of the same character. And again, you would have to make them vastly different in order to not confuse the fan base as well. So, number 2, The Batman is easily the best DCEU era movie. So, the DC Extended Universe wasn't as bad as some people would lead you to believe. I really enjoyed the DC Extended Universe. Probably the only movie I didn't like was Birds of Prey, but pretty much other than that, I pretty much liked everything else. But let's face it, that era of storytelling didn't exactly deliver a long list of beloved movies. Wonder Woman is likely to be the only one remembered as a true classic when all is said and done. That's absolute garbage. I don't believe that whatsoever. Batman v Superman, in my opinion, is an absolute masterpiece. I love that movie. Looking outside the DCEU, we have Joker, but that divided opinions and has been somewhat tainted by Joker Folie à Deux. Ultimately, The Batman remains easily the best movie released before the DCU relaunch. With that in mind, we wouldn't DC Studios put the spotlight on Matt Reeves' Batverse? Not only does the franchise have a lot of goodwill, the Penguin has been a hit with fans and critics, and Gunn and Peter Safran's involvement with the series has been widely publicized. That's the thing, we have an established Batman now who everybody loves. The box office for that movie was great, critics love it, audience loves it. It's been now established, and now we have a spin-off series of the Penguin, and there's rumors saying that they're looking to do more villain spin-offs like Harvey Dent, and potentially other characters, maybe Poison Ivy, maybe Harley Quinn, something like that, within that kind of Penguin and Batman universe. So why not just keep Batterson around, have him as the DCU Batman, and yeah, it makes sense as he's already established. So number one, what this means for the DCU. So look, if we get our way, the Batman is incorporated into the DCU, there are going to be some big changes. Gunn will likely have to scrap plans to bring Damian Wayne into the fold and hold off on introducing the Bat family, which may upset some fans. Reeves will also need to be open to incorporating a wider universe into stories, but can still keep this franchise relatively standalone. Superman doesn't need to frequently drop in and out of Gotham, and can be a city which is patrolled by just one lone vigilante. As for Patterson, it will have to be convinced to make at least the odd appearance in other projects. However, Batman doesn't have to be a member of the Justice League and can be used very sparingly, treated as more of an urban myth than a publicly known superhero. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to have Batman, popping up in the DC universe from James Gunn, but he's going to be only there sparingly, he's not going to be there much, he's not going to be in the Justice League, it doesn't seem to fit, in my opinion, because they're already forming the Justice League in that very first Superman movie. We have Green Lantern, we have Hawkgirl, we have Mr. Terrific, we have Superman, and it looks like there's, a form of the Justice League already in that first Superman movie. So if we're going to incorporate Batman, but he's not going to be in the Justice League, it kind of doesn't really fit, in my opinion. I get what this article is trying to say, that you could have Batman in there, but keep him as part of the DCU, but keep him very kind of standalone and kind of isolated, even though he will be interacting with those characters from time to time. But does that ultimately work? Will fans like that he's not going to be there as often as he should be? He's not going to be in the Justice League. That doesn't really work, in my opinion, with what James Gunn is trying to build. But I can understand why a lot of fans would see how that works, that we're going to have Robert Pattinson's Batman there, but he's going to be used very sparingly. He's going to be kind of isolated to Gotham in his own kind of universe, but still going to be interacting with those DCU characters from time to time. Can that work? I'm not really sure it can, but I'm sure a lot of fans would be happy with that kind of, that kind of retcon of Robert Pattinson's Batman. But yeah, there's 5 different reasons there, guys, as to why, the Batman could fit into James Gunn's DCU. So I kind of throw it off to you. What do you think about these 5 points? Let's just summarize it. So it's an easy retcon, number 5. Number 4, no one wants Andy Muschietti to be directing another Batman movie, The Brave and the Bold. So it's easier just to use Robert Pattinson. Number 3, it's confusing for regular moviegoers to have 2 different Batmen running around in the DC cinematic universe. 2, the Batman is easily the best DCEU era movie. Obviously, it's a great springboard to launch the DCU, having it as the first official James Gunn DC cinematic universe. You could retcon that movie, the Batman, easily to do that. And then number 1, what it means for the DCU. Having Batman, obviously, having an established Batman that people already love, it means that it would be a great springboard into the DC cinematic universe, having an established character that people already love. So that kind of summarizes the 5 points there as to why it would be a great idea to use Robert Pattinson as the DCU's established Batman already, without having to reboot The Brave and the Bold, having another Batman, having 2 Batman kind of running around confusing people. So guys, I throw it off to you. What do you think about these 5 points? Do you have any points that you would love to add on to this? Do you think it's a good idea, a bad idea to have Robert Pattinson in the DCU as Batman? Or do you think they should continue with having Andy Muschietti reboot the Dark Knight again with Brave and the Bold like they're already planning to? Let me know your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.